So haste makes waste, right? Funny thing is, I based all of my quilts entirely. Um, I was trying to rush to get this one started, and I said, oh, well, it's perfectly pieced. Why not just float it? Oh, insert Murphy's Law. With my norm, I never have to baste the sides because it's fully basted. But, yep, I forgot. This is a nested pattern, so I set it up to stitch the first row left to right, stitch down, and then stitch the second row right to left. And I bet you know what happened. No basting, and that foot just reached out and grabbed that fabric right up. There's no fixing this. I email my client with two options. I can fuse it and stitch it shut, or I can remove the piece and replace it with some plain white fabric. She, of course, chose option number 2. So I slowly and carefully unpiece her stitching while it's still on the frame. I start at the bottom right of the half square triangle, and I go up to the corner, and then you do actually have to remove some of the horizontal seam as well to get that full corner out, and then remove the rest of the horizontal seam. So I cut a piece of white fabric, and I cut it a little bit bigger than the piece I removed, just to make life easier. And then you'll see I had to fold over the seam because this has to go back in the same exact way it came out, and that seam is folded over. So then you're going to insert the new piece exactly how it should be. So if your seam is folded over, that will overlap the piece that it's going over, and the other one will get tucked under. So lay all the pieces back just to make sure everything is good, and it's going to lay nice when you restitch it. So from the bottom right corner, I slowly do some invisible hand applique, or as close to as invisible as I can get, to attach the triangle together, making sure not to stretch the bias too bad. You continue doing this until you get up to the top left, again being as careful as possible not to stretch that bias. So here is a peek at the back, just so you can see the hand stitching. Just try to be as neat as possible when you're doing it. You will then need to continue stitching, appliquing the rest of that horizontal seam. You'll need to continue appliquing until you get to the end of that seam. So now you are finished. Just continue basting down the side like you should have done. And once this is done being quilted and it's taken off the frame, I actually make sure to press it, hit a little steam just to double check everything and fix anything that still needs fixing.